Welcome to Cooking with CHeli. Today I'm going to show you how to make mouth-watering, delicious Jamaican curry chicken. If you want to see how I put it all together, just keep on watching. Today I'm using 3 leftover leg quarters that were left over from my jerk chicken video. I've already removed the skin, washed them in vinegar and lemon, and cut them in small pieces. Whenever you make curry chicken, always cut them in small pieces. So here you'll see that I've cut up some vegetables. I've cut up some yellow, red, and green bell peppers. I've added some thyme. I've also done some cut up onions. And in the corner here are a few slices of Scotch bonnet peppers. They are not too hot, which is why I'm going with just 3 slices. I'll be using some minced ginger, some seasoning salt. Then I'll be going in with some chopped garlic. I love to use garlic in everything that I make. I'll also be using some curry powder. My curry powder of choice is Beta Pack Curry, but you can use whatever you choose. I'll be adding some allspice, as well as some powdered garlic. I'm adding a little bit of Italian style seasoning. And of course, some black pepper. The first thing I'm adding here is a tablespoon of the powdered garlic. Next, I'm adding a tablespoon of the seasoning salt. I then went in with 2 tablespoons of the chopped garlic. I then added a half a tablespoon of the minced ginger, 1 teaspoon of the allspice seasoning. Now here I'm adding a half a tablespoon of the Italian seasonings, which is optional, guys. I just personally love using this blend. Here I'm adding a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and now I'm adding the star of the show, which is the curry powder, and I'm using 1.5 tablespoons. And last but most certainly not least, I'm going to add all my vegetables that I cut up earlier, the bell peppers, the Scotch bonnet peppers, the onion, and the thyme, all going in to all the other seasonings that I've already added. Now that everything is in, you know what to do. Grab your gloves and let's get to mixing it all together. Now don't be afraid to get in there and mix it all together well, guys, because we want to make sure that every single piece of that chicken is flavorful and just absolutely yummy when we bite into it. After we've mixed everything, we're just going to add some saran wrap over it and we're going to refrigerate it. I'm doing it overnight, which is best, or for a minimum of 2 hours. Alright guys, so moving right along, 24 hours later, I have my pan out and I'm adding some oil into it. And here I've added about 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Next, I'm adding a teaspoon of curry powder directly into the oil, and I'm just going to mix that, and we call that burning the curry to really bolster the flavors. We don't want to burn it, we just want to stir it around as much as possible until it heats up before we add our chicken. Here you can see it's starting to get a little darker and it's bubbling a little bit. Keep a close eye on it here. Like I said before, you don't want it to burn, otherwise it is going to be very bitter. So now that we have that done, I am going to go ahead and add all my chicken into the pan carefully and very slowly because I don't want to get burned. Just like so. And make sure that you're scraping down everything that's inside that container that you seasoned it in. You want to get all that in the pan. At this point, you just want to stir it a little bit and make sure that it's in the pan evenly. And that container that I seasoned it in, I'm just going to add a little bit of water into it. Stir it around because, like I said, I don't want any of that lovely juice to be left behind. And then I'm going to pour it over the chicken. Then I'm going to stir it one more time to make sure everything is even again. At this point, I'm going to turn my stove down to medium heat and then just cover it up so it can go ahead and start to cook. And this is what it looks like, guys, after about 10 minutes. I'm just checking to make sure that it has enough water, and if not at this point, just add a little bit as you go. While that was cooking, I went ahead and cut up 2 small potatoes to add to it to help to thicken my gravy. And here it is, guys, at the 35-minute mark. It looks amazing and it smells oh so good. And this is the point where I'm going to go ahead and add my potatoes to it. So I'm just going to pour them in just like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it another stir just to make sure that everything is submerged in the gravy itself. And at this point, if you don't have enough in the pan, go ahead and add a little bit more water. You want to make sure that you have enough liquids to cook your potatoes through. So here I'm adding just a little bit more in, maybe a half a cup, to make sure that my potatoes are covered. At this point, you also want to taste it just to make sure that you have enough seasonings. And if not, this is an opportunity for you to add anything that you believe it's lacking. In this case, I'm adding some more garlic powder, as well as I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more black pepper. So guys, at this point, you're just re-seasoning or adding more seasoning to suit your taste. And again, you just want to give it a little stir, make sure everything is blended well. And at this time, I'm going to turn my stove down to medium to low heat and cover it for an additional 15 minutes. And here we are, guys, 15 minutes later. Take a look at that. Look how rich my gravy is. Some of that potato have broken down and it's making my gravy nice and thick, just like I like it. Now, if you don't want your gravy as thick, you can just cut back on the amount of potatoes you use. Or if you don't want to use potatoes at all, you can go ahead and add a little bit of cornstarch to some water and put it in just to thicken it a little bit. I like my gravy this thick because my hubby is not a chicken eater per se, so he'll mostly end up eating a lot of the potatoes with the gravy. And on the side here, guys, I have some rice and peas going. Today I took the shortcut, which is to do basmati rice with canned peas, which is not the authentic way, but I promise I will come back with another video showing you how to make the authentic Jamaican rice and peas. And here's the finished product, guys. Everything put together. My curry chicken with my rice and peas. I have some veggies on the side with some fried plantains. Now, curry chicken is usually paired with white rice or plain rice, but today I fell for rice and peas, so that is what I made. It looks so yummy and it smells so good. I cannot wait to dig in. And this is all I have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know if you enjoyed this recipe. It's been my absolute pleasure hanging out with you, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button below, and also make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you are the first to know when I upload new recipes. Until the next video, this is CHeli saying, big up on yourself.